Welcome back to the stream, everybody. We have just finished the crazy beast fight and the kind of side quest here with the crazy person. And you are spent. You wanted to take a short rest. So, let's talk about short rests. I like to take short rests in much smaller increments than the book suggests. Rather than like an hour, I think you should be able to take 10 or 15 minutes to yourselves, heal up, spend hit dice, right? It's like taking a breather and like getting your mind right, wrapping up any wounds that need immediate attention and then moving on. I think that keeps the pace of the game more realistic, and I think it also allows characters to spend hit dice more, because I found in 5e most characters never use short rests, ever. So, if you want to, I would suggest taking some time in the in the town here, or like in the shack before you head back into town. Wrap up whatever wounds need wrapped up. Have some small rations. Drink some water. Spend whatever hit dice you need to spend, and we will go from there.
Perfect. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do, I guess. And so it's your con, or it's your hit dice is...
Yeah.
Does it add your con for your...
It does indeed.
Perfect.
So I'm probably there helping all of them.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Got little hands, so can help.
Yes, indeed.
Well, because I'm a barbarian and I have a ludicrous amount of ludicrously high hit die. I regain.
Oh yeah.
All right. So you gain 6 hit points. Janlar, you gain 12
I don't
hit
even know I
points.
did that. I don't actually need to do... I haven't taken any damage. What am I doing?
I was like, well, I was wondering, when did Genla get hit though?
That's the only... I was just for the future.
He just wanted to.
He just wanted. We did it.
Right.
To feel like part of the team.
Alrighty. Anybody else need to just spend some time healing, taking a breather, getting themselves prepared?
No.
No?
I mean, I gotta stay hydrated though, so I'm gonna drink some water.
Alright. Perfect.
Pretty good.
How do you drink water? Do you drink, or do you like put tendrils into water and like suck it up? Like, do you have roots?
How would I drink water? I just take it. I just pour it over my head. Like the other way around. I just pour it over my head. It just disappears in my hair, kind of like
right
in the weird grass-like, this weird grass-like hair that I have.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. I like it.
Makes eye contact with horse dog and then pours water over her head. She's
always
the normal one.
Just wink at him, give him the thumbs up.
Alrighty. So the four of you return to town.
Friggin' a tree person.
Tom informs you all that the body is prepared and that they'll wait for the light of Hala to shine, so that the spirit can be guided on to the stars, and the town will kind of gather to say their prayers and do the ritual then. So you guys have probably a few hours before, actually less than that, because you've spent some time today. You probably have an hour or two to yourselves before full dark and the moon, Hala in this case, comes out. Do you have anything you want to do for the next couple of hours in town, or should we just move forward to the ritual?
I think I'm going to take the time while we have a second to cast Identify on one of the candles.
Absolutely, yeah. So you find yourself a quiet place, probably in one of the rooms of the tavern that you've rented, and you crush up the pearl that was gifted to you by your by your teacher into a fine dust, and you begin incanting the Identify ritual, touching the candles that you've laid out in front of you. At which point the session prep document opens, and we take a look at it. The candles you identify as candles of spirit warding. Built into these candles are wards against ghosts and other spirits. But these candles don't burn on flame. They burn on the power of a living soul. So you can spend hit dice to light the camera. And for each hit dice spent, the candle will burn for a number of hours equal to that hit dice. And while burning, wherever the light touches, spirits, ghosts, and other ethereal creatures are warded away. They cannot enter the light willingly.
Can I just say that I used my hit dice instead of healing myself to test this candle out?
Absolutely. Yes. Yes, you spend your hit dice experimenting with this candle, and sure enough, it burns brightly on your life force, casting a purplish hued light in a 30-foot radius around you.
Cool. I'm not going to take the time to identify the dust, because I've seen what that does.
Alrighty, yeah. Sounds good. So, what else are you all doing, or are we heading towards the ritual here?
I don't know that. Yeah, I'm not muted. Okay. I don't know that there's
Okay.
a lot else for us to do here. As far as we know, we've broken the loop.
You wait for a day as Tom performs rituals, and the whole town kind of gathers just past the mill, in between, or not just past the mill. I'm sorry, on the other side of the mill, just past the town, in between the forest and the woods and the last of the houses. Tom provides the first log of a pyre, lays it on the ground inside of a prepared circle, and each person in the town steps up with an addition to it. They find a log or a sapling or something to build up a small pyre. Tom then lays the pieces of the body on top of the pyre, and incants a prayer to Burgess, asking that the purifying power for flames consume what is dead and release the spirit to the light of Hala, and in so doing provide the chance to be reborn.
So before he sets the pyre on fire, right?
Sure.
Unintentional rhyme there. I like for Rose, she hasn't seen that before, right? And this looks kind of very wrong to her, but she also, I mean, she's not too awkward to notice that this is really important for people, right? Mm-hmm. So as Tom does his incantations, I guess she moves forward and she takes out that little bag filled with different seeds, right? And so in her way as one of the people of the forest, she pays her respects by taking those seeds into her two hands, and then she spreads it on the pyre, right? And she touches her rose on her neck, and those little seeds just start plopping up, right? And they start blooming in all those different little flowers, right? Some are proper flowers, and other are I don't know, little grass and seeds, and maybe some stuff you would actually harvest. It looks like it is kind of similar to I don't know, an altar you would have during a harvest season or something, right?
Uh-huh. Absolutely.
Which is more thematical to the whole farmer's idea, I guess. And then she before they can light the pyre, she's gonna step back. But now the pyre is just engulfed in little flowers and
mm-hmm. Absolutely. Tom thanks you for the gesture. Brea's mother comes forward and says, "Oh, thank you, Spirit of the Forest. That is very kind of you to do. I'm sure that those flowers will grow anew in this spot after the light of Burgess consumes them." And she gives you a big smile. You'll know that Burgess is a triple goddess, including that of agriculture. the kind of belief around here is that after the flames, things can grow anew afterwards. So you see that like a lot of people are actually touched by this gesture, especially as they see you somewhat as like a being of the forest. A lot of happy smiles kind of come around. Tom turns to the crowd and asks that if anyone has words to say or prayers to be heard, now is the time to step forth. Brea's mother comes forth and gives says, even though you were always running off and getting into trouble and being precocious, I never thought I would see the day that you outlived me. She begins to kind of break down a little bit and offers a small prayer that her daughter soul gets the chance to move on. The friends and family members of the bereaved come forth and say their own things. If any of you want to come forth and say something, you can. Otherwise, Tom will.
Gormak's gonna nudge Emily and just be like, "You should play something while you have food in your mouth and can't talk." Cause
I take my chance real quick. I fly over to the head of the child, and you see her lean forward, like kneeling above the head. And you see a single, like, shiny, like you can notice it because, like, pixies don't cry. So you see a single tear from the pixie fall on the child's head, and then she will slowly take flight and head back over, but she'll be starting to play the harp. Do you want a performance check, or is this just for flavor?
You can make a performance check if you want to see how well you play the harp. Otherwise, I think it could be just for flavor.
Yeah, just for flavor. We'll stick with flavor.
You're not playing Highway to Hell as you're moving back to the
you begin a kind of soulful, slow harp kind of song as you pluck your strings over the fire. As you do so, your melody is heard by some sprites in the forest. And they come out. As the fire begins to be lit, Tom lights a torch and begins lighting the flames on this pyre. A series of sprites and small fey creatures fly out from the forest as well, with their own small instruments, begin to play with you. And they dance a kind of somberful, slow dance above the flames as the light of the moon kind of shines down on it. The fire lasts. The crowd lasts until the fire burns to ash. And Tom again steps forward to say a small prayer over the ashes, saying, what was has now been burned and released. Let Bridges guide what will come after. And he reaches out and plants just like a small seed in the ash of the burnt pile. And with that, kind of nods to the rest of you and says, "It's done," as the crowd kind of begins dispersing.
Emily, you should ask those pixies if they know anything about the shrine.
Right. And I just see if I can fly over to the
Sure,
rose.
yeah, you track one of the pixies down, and there was a few pixies. There was more like sprites, wood sprites, forest sprites. But you find a pixie similar to you. Actually, what it's done is it's flown over to the windowsill of one of these nearby buildings, and they're sitting customarily on top of it is one of these kind of like small bowls filled with honeyed milk. And the pixie's there just kind of drinking the milk as you alight next to it. And says, sister, have not seen you around here before. Are you from the woods?
No, I'm not from the woods. I'm not from around here, that's for sure.
Traveler.
Mm-hmm. I'm one of their seekers.
Oh, I've never heard of a pixie being a seeker. How
No
does
one
that
has.
work?
Well, I just go with the group and we solve problems.
Cormac waves from wherever he is, and
That's my friend Cormac. He's very cool.
probably a ways off.
He looks big and scary. We should
That's
give
why
him a
he's-
rash. It would be
No.
funny.
But I have a question about the temple in the cave out in the
Oh.
forest.
Yeah, we saw that. It was new. I hadn't seen it before. It looked like a hill, and then it was open.
Okay, because we had a evil guy and an evil spirit appear in town and cause this place to be in a loop.
A loop?
Well, it's been the same day over and over again.
I don't keep track of days very well. You're
No,
very
I don't.
odd. For a pixie, I'm sorry. Being a seeker must
It's okay.
change you. What's it
No,
like?
being a part
What's
of
it
their
like?
world.
What like tracking the days? That seems very strange.
It's important to these people
Hmm.
because their lives aren't very long.
Oh, I see.
Speaking of tracking days, actually, is there any way to tell based on like the fullness of the moon or the stars or anything what day it is as we burn this body?
Are you trained in astronomy or astrology?
I'm trained in survival, but not astronomy or astrology.
I could see survival playing some small part in that. You could tell the seasons or the yeah. What information are you looking for specifically by checking the moon and the stars?
Probably not exactly what day it is, but this village was like a month behind real time.
Mm-hmm.
So, are the stars more or less accurate for what they should be if it's a month after harvest, or are the stars accurate for the start of harvest? It's what I'm trying to discern.
Okay, let's have a survival wisdom roll, and we'll see how well you do.
Survival. Where's survival? Not great.
So you got an 8. I think you recognize the stars to be about the right time for this season. You probably don't pay too much attention to their exact positions and everything for each month or each week. So yeah, it seems generally right to you.
Okay.
So the pixie's like, looks to you and says, well, it's a good thing that you broke the loop then. I would hate to be in one of those, I guess. Although, I don't know how different it would be. Go about do many of the same things.
Over and over again forever. Keep an eye on these people for me,
We do.
so I don't have.
We make sure they don't go into the forest and ruin things. They also give us milk. They're nice people. And it continues, like, taking a big sip out of the bowl.
Yeah, I'm just gonna take a scoop with my cup
Yeah.
and like I'll have a drink, and I'm like, yeah, this is actually really good.
Yeah.
Really good.
It's very nice. It's been sweetened with honey, so it's particularly good.
Thank you. And I'll like fly back over. And I'm like, yeah, no. It just appeared, the temple. And they don't know anything about it. I don't even think they knew they were in a loop if they were in the loop.
Wonder if it's still there.
Mm-hmm.
Guess we.
I think it was just covered up. That's what it looked
Covered
like.
up.
The boy
Yeah.
said that she activated the door somehow.
Sort of
And
some kind of
it didn't look natural. It looked like somebody ripped it open or something.
So after some time, Tom is like, I must go to bed. I think we should sleep here in the inn tonight. Seems a bit late to head on out to our other town.
Was the kid that had been with her when she died? Was he at the ceremony?
He was.
How did he react? Did he hang around or did he cheese it afterwards?
He was distraught at the ceremony. He was one of the few that came forward and gave a little bit of a eulogy.
Do we hear his name at all?
His name is Ben. You
Ben.
do know his name is Ben. Ben and Brea. He, you know, the things kids say, right? They don't have a great, like, poetic turn of phrase, but obviously very sad. And you kind of get the feeling that maybe he was hoping that it wouldn't be the case, but that he expected this a little bit just from your interaction before.
Drinks and then bed then?
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Yes.
Sure. You go and rest at the inn. The next day, you wake up in the morning in a moderately comfortable in bed in Willard's Mill. It seems that whatever loop that you were caught in has been broken by someone's actions.
We did it. We did it, everyone. Good job.
Ooh, we need to get back to that town. They have my silver. Or our silver. No, the same my silver.
I'll actually mark off the money that I spent now. 'Cause
Yeah,
it means
so
it's actually left my inventory.
yeah, now money that you've spent has actually left the inventory. So we never did talk about the meals or the beds here. Any meal you bought at the inn is rated at 3 copper pieces for a meal. It is a silver piece for a night's stay. The night stay includes stabling with the oxen and the cart.
Okay. Oh, Gormak, like, looks himself over to see if he has any new, like, weird seeker marks.
You give yourself a good look over, and you see none.
Okay.
You look like yourself. You are quite beat up from the battle the day before, but you do not see any new weird seeker marks.
Okay. Gormak, like checks this out and goes, "We don't have seeker marks yet."
They give them to us. They don't
Maybe.
just go.
As you're sitting around the table, talking about your lack of seeker marks, you see Ben come down from the rooms. He kind of looks around, and he comes up to your table, the 5 of you, and says, Did you do it? It's not the afternoon.
Right. I think so. Should we stick around and fight the Noon Wraith? I look at the rest of the party like.
No, I think we need to get horse dog and get out of here.
But it's clearly a problem.
The boy kind of nods his head. He says, yes, Noon Wraiths are a bit of a problem. We're not sure why. We're not sure why they're always here, but, if you get out of the fields, before the sun is high in the sky, and you have a
crate
nice
of
meal.
holy water, and a cleric.
You do have... Hey, you're seekers, right? You seem to have broken whatever curse is here. Perhaps you can break the curse of the Noon Race.
Maybe Brunhild will have a reward for dealing with the Noon Race.
I don't know, but I'm just... It's been so long since I've had a morning. You found Brea. Thank you. I'm gonna miss her. What can I get you? Meal on the house.
I'll have a salad.
A wonderful salad I'll make you.
I'll have bacon. Just one.
Just one bacon. One bacon.
One bacon.
Excellent. He takes orders and runs off, and sure enough brings back a salad for you, a long piece of greasy bacon for Emily, almost as tall as you, and anything else that you ordered. He gives you the breakfast for free. Says, don't tell Mom, but I took care of this one. And then he goes off to serve everyone else in the bar.
I'm a pixie. I need as much energy as I physically can. I eat the whole piece that is as tall as I am.
Gormak will actually kind of like look around at all of the other like merchants and people who were in town, and kind of like look at the rest of the group and go, should we say something to them? They're all gonna be really confused about the time loop. Should we warn them?
I mean, what day is it now?
I don't know. I tried to tell by the stars. It's harvest.
Yeah, I don't think we even know what day it is. I don't think we can give them the best information. I think we should get Horse Dog and try to take him back to Sarmanath.
But won't they all think they've gone crazy, though?
They'll be all right.
Shouldn't we do something?
Do you want to knock them out for a month?
Cormac looks like he
sound
considers
healthy.
it. Like
Tom is adamant. No, we're not knocking
I
them
point at
all
Tom
out.
and I say, "No more listening to you. Kill the bad guy."
I
Some
don't think we
moral
can knock
compass.
everybody out.
Well, we can tell the mayor, and when they figure it out, she can tell them, right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, what about all the merchants who are going to travel to other towns, and the other towns are going to tell them it's a month later?
That's their problem, not ours. Sounds like a them problem.
Horse
not-
Dog.
I mean,
the same
a day to be a day late after a month is not too bad, right?
Yeah, Horse Dog thought it was the same day as everyone else in town, right?
Yes, the only exceptions being the travelers at this inn. If you remember,
Okay, so-
they all thought it was a different day.
Right.
They all thought it was the same day that they arrived, and they thought
Right.
that the travelers in the inn were crazy people because they all arrived at different days, but they all thought it was the same day that they arrived the first time.
Right. So that means Horse Dog was in town at the start of the event. He didn't get here after it had started. So it also started when Horse Dog got here.
Yeah, he was here a month ago, and that's why he's been missing for a month.
Right.
He was here. I think he just happened to be here when it occurred.
Okay. We didn't like wait for him to be here.
No, I don't think so. Yeah, have we talked? We haven't talked to
I
anybody
guess
who
tell
hasn't.
Brunhild.
Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, you can go find Brunhild. She's kind of walking about town, getting the sigils redrawn into the wards around the town. Seems that she's the only one doing it. As the elder, maybe it's her role. Maybe this town doesn't have extras. But she, is doing her routine around. You find her like midway through the town, about halfway. She's drawing in the wards, and kind of looks to you in a very similar dresses as before, very formally, tightly braided leathers. Looks at you and says, good morning, Seekers. Did you deal with any evil spirits?
Yes.
Oh, the evil spirits are dealt with. Excellent. I appreciate that.
For now. Yep.
For now. Oh,
Yep.
will they be coming back? I have to tell you, I didn't notice any evil spirits. I could have made a request into the Seekers.
What about the Noon Wraiths?
They've been here for as long as I can remember. I think they were here as long as my grandmother could remember too. They come in the full noon sun, not every day, but most days. It's part of the reason why we have all the men come in and have lunch and stay inside the town. The wraiths don't come in here, but if you're caught out in the fields at noon, you best be prepared to deal with some noon wraiths.
I turned to I can't even remember your character name. What is wrong with me?
Gormac.
I turn to Gormac. I'm like, we could just sit in the fields and wait, and when they come,
An
we cut them
ambush.
down. Exactly.
Yes.
They won't see us coming.
I have
Well,
a shovel. I can dig us a trench.
Well, we don't.
I would prefer you didn't build a trench in my wheat fields. Problematic, you know.
What
We
if
just-
I turn it into an irrigation ditch afterwards?
I mean, if you have those skills, I'm sure we could use an irrigation ditch.
All right.
We just wanted to let you know that the village was caught in a time loop, so it's actually 1 month later than you people think.
1 month and 2
Time
days.
loop? 1 month and
Yeah.
2 days? What? How? I don't understand. You
Oh,
would think I would
it's
be aware
rift
of something
magic.
like that.
I don't understand it either. It's really complicated.
Oh dear, rift magic. Well,
This is a Tom explanation right here.
But you're good now. You're good. You're back to normal. Just maybe let people know that it's 1 month and 2 days later than they think it is.
All the
dear.
travelers in the inn think it's whatever day they arrived. Also, they're going to be very confused.
oh, how strange. Yes, it did seem we had an abnormal number of travelers arrive yesterday. Quite a few, all at once. Sure. Can I? I have to ask. I'm sorry. This is quite strange to me. It seems no one else in town has experienced anything all that odd. Do you have any proof that we were in a time loop? What should we do about being in a time loop?
You're not in one anymore.
Mental health counseling.
Yeah,
Oh,
pretty much. You
You've
just
all been
lost
through a
them.
shared trauma.
I see. Okay. Well, I guess we'll just
boy,
have to deal with that.
Ben,
Yes?
he was aware
Ben knew. He didn't tell
somehow.
us. Oh, that's
Well,
quite odd.
Gormac looks around and goes, "Would you have believed him?"
No, probably not. I mean, children and all. He knew.
We think it had something to do with Brea.
Oh, that poor soul. Well, I'm glad that you stopped whatever it was that was affecting us. I can't offer you too much of a reward, as well, I didn't know we had a problem.
Is there a reward for the Noon Wraiths?
Oh, you wish to fight the Noon Wraiths?
Yes.
Well, we do have a little bit of coins that have we've been saving for town expenses, whatever repairs, or if we need new sigils, or if we have to order something from one of the larger cities. I could dip into that for you. What would the secret price be for a Noon Wraith? I don't know what a good reward would be.
Gormac looks at Emily.
On the CR, no. I'm not sure. I've never seen
Never
him.
fought a Wraith as a Seeker
Exactly.
before.
Oh, well,
How much did my pit fights cost when I'd fight when I'd grapple with bears and stuff?
They cost you nothing because you were
Right.
a competitor.
Did I get
right?
paid
They-
for doing them though?
You did.
Or did the Lamplighters get paid for me fighting in them?
The Lamplighters took most of your cut, getting paid for them. The way that works is the audience gets charged an admission, right? And there's a big
Okay.
pool of money. And based on what attraction you are, right? If you're main event of the Gladiator Pit, you get a little bit of a bigger cut of that. But the majority of that went into their pockets.
Right.
You would probably find a good 35 to 50 silver, depending on the fight.
Okay.
For that, but you know that there's quite a bit more of money in that business. It just didn't quite trickle down to you.
All right. I'll ask her. I'll be like, "Is a Noon Wraith harder to kill than a bear?"
Oh, very much so. Yes. What an odd question.
Gormak thinks and goes, 100 silver.
I believe we can make that happen, yes. 100 silver for the noon race. Absolutely.
I'm ready. Let's do this.
Brave people. You would want to wait till noon, but sure.
Wait, are noon wraiths evil? Like, have we heard of such a creature before? Or is it just like, it sounds just like a creature, like a ghost that appears at like 12 or something?
You know that they are particularly problematic for farmers. They appear in midday fields. Why a wraith appears is something that is specific to the wraith. Essentially, a wraith is the spirit of someone who has passed on, who for whatever reason was not guided into the afterlife by Hala, according to the religion. Right, so the Hala's tasked as a goddess with guiding the souls of the departed to the afterlife in the stars. If for whatever reason the soul of that person is not guided successfully to the afterlife, either they refused to go with Hala, or they had unfinished business, or something happened and the goddess was unable to guide them, then they would stay in this world and become the wraiths and ghosts and specters of the world. This is the teachings of Hala.
And these are really old, right?
She says that
Because
the wraiths
they're the grandmothers.
Absolutely. The wraiths have been here as long as I can remember. I believe my grandma told stories of them being around in her time, too.
We don't want to disrupt this town culture. This is part of their culture for years.
Yeah, I'm wondering if they are somehow connected to the war and like the people buried in the graveyard.
Gormak like nods like, maybe. Yeah, we should dig up more graves. It's all
That's not what I meant, Gormak.
Oh.
Let's just get on the cart. We can come back and fight them another day.
Promise.
All right.
I promise. If we
Okay.
both survive. Because
Nods.
if I'm dead, I can't keep up the promise.
All right, so you begin getting your cart prepared to leave for the day. About an hour after you awake, Rose, you see a large shadow flying in the sky towards you. And as you look up to see it, it begins descending towards you, and it is an oversized eagle. About as large as, not a giant creature, not a large creature, but about as large as like a small dog, maybe. And as it descends down upon you, it alights on your shoulder and perches there.
Before it comes all the way down, like, is Emily there? 'Cause she'd be like, "Nude Wraith!"
You can be there, yeah. Emily shouts Noon Wraith, but it is this animal. As it flies down, the eagle perches on your shoulder. It looks around and kind of like twirls its head over to you. And it opens its beak, and instead of a squawk or anything coming out, the voice of a old and wizened sounding elf comes out, and it says, "My child, your strength has grown and been noticed. Come to the summit of Amber Peak by the full light of Hala. You must choose the path you walk and face the trial of initiation." And with that, the eagle closes its beak and then kind of ruffles its feathers as if like getting its bearings. It gives an eagle cry, "Ah!" and like flies off, having the message delivered.
What a
Yeah.
weird Moon Wraith.
That wasn't a noon raid.
Cormac nods and then goes, "That would not have been harder to defeat than a bear. She was overpaying us."
That was a message for me. That was not a noon raid. And she still looks pretty surprised. She's like, I think I have to choose my path.
I have no idea what that means, but we gotta take that path.
They have silver for us.
Now, when you're a druid, at some point you have to decide what kind of druid you want to be.
Oh,
what kind of nature is closest to you, you know?
What kind of druid do you want to be?
I thought you're a Spriggan druid.
I am. Maybe there are different types of Spriggan druids?
Oh, okay.
I've never thought about it, really. I've never thought there was much of a choice.
Well, where do we have to go? Are we going home? To Sarmanath?
Well,
Yes, we were tasked with bringing Horse Dog back to Sarmanath. I think we need to make sure he travels safely on the road back.
Well, is he ready to go? Because he doesn't like me. He thinks I'm crazy.
does he know that he has to go?
He does now.
You look around town and you find Horse Dog in the process of closing up his shop. And as he sees you coming, he kind of gives side eye to Gormac and to Emily, and he looks you up and down and says, "So, Seekers, seems we're not so much in a time loop after all."
Oh my god, I hate smart asses. Oh dear.
A crate of holy water and like thuds it onto his thing and says, "Didn't work. You can have this back."
He like picks it up, says, "You didn't refill this in the river, did you?" He like eyepieces it.
Gormac goes, "Nope, we only used the one that Tom made, and it didn't do anything."
Okay. Well, I appreciate you returning these. He picks it up and puts it in his cart.
Gormac goes, "Good. You'll have to come with us to Sarmanath."
I can't go to Sarmanath. I have a whole route. I have a whole route of towns to go to, right? It's the first of harvest. I need to be back by the first of fallow.
I'm sorry, sir. What guild's he from? He's from the...
He's a mercer.
The Mercer Guild has requested we bring you back, and I don't think we can let you leave.
Yep. You can go with us the easy way or the hard way, Mercer. How do you want to do this?
Well, I'm not in the business of fighting a seeker. The badges say that's what you are.
Gormac goes, "Oh, you wouldn't fight us. I just used this sack."
He nods his head. He says, I see. Well, maybe we can come to a compromise. You are seekers, so you say, although your behavior is concerning.
Well,
I need to complete some more of these rounds. Perhaps I don't do my whole round, if I have indeed been in a time loop for a month, as you say. I'm sure the Mercers will have sent somebody else to do my rounds that I'm missing. However, there are a couple of towns up past the hills, in the Grass Sea. If we could make those rounds, Mercers don't get out there very often, I would probably be able to complete the task, the quota, if you will, that I am required to. And being seekers, you could protect us. People don't go in the Grass Sea very often, you see, in Orkland. The tribe there is particularly aggressive. So, what do you say?
How long will it take?
are any of your wares seasonal?
What do you
Because
mean
if you
by
have
seasonal?
Thanksgiving decorations, it's already too late.
You'd be surprised what people will buy regardless of the season. Look, the job of the mercer is to go to these towns and buy and sell what they have at their disposal, right? If a town is a harvesting town and they have grains, and there's another town that mines and they have iron, well, the mercers are the go-between for these small towns. You see, not everybody is as lucky as y'all to be from Sarmanath, where they have plentiful traders and everything. The lifeblood here. And these two towns are a bit off the block. Mercers don't get there very often. We usually require seeker help, just because you're the most reliable to get there. Perhaps this is a good trade-off. I can continue trading these items, bring back my quota for the mercers, and you will get me back before completing an entire month's worth of rounds.
I was about to say, how long will it take?
Well, let me get my map out real quick. A little bit of a ruler. We will measure over. Well, we're really in Mill. I should measure over like this. It's probably, I would say, a day's travel to the first town, probably half a day's travel, a little bit more to the next, and then a full day's march at a fast pace back to Willard's Mill. It will be probably a bit longer. The grass sea, it's not as easily navigable as the old road, especially for carts. And, we seem to have two of them here, he says, kind of pointing to yours. It might take a little bit more time than that, but you're at a slow, leisurely pace. You're looking at a few weeks, especially if we stay for a day or two in each place to buy and sell.
If the time loop reset us and it's actually harvest again, I don't want to miss our graduation feast
On whatever day it was that we started the campaign at.
I want to make sure we're back in time for that, if it's not already after that.
Okay, so let's see. The Feast of Sarmanath is in a little bit more than a month's time. It'll be in the final days of harvest when they begin gathering it all together. Any seeker graduations will take place 3 days hence after the trials have been completed. So you have roughly a month or so. I know I've lollygagged here in Willard's Mill for a day or two, so it's not quite the first to follow, but you probably have 4 cycles of the 4 cycles of the moon before oh, I'm sorry, the moon actually takes longer than that. You probably have like 4 weeks. We go with weeks now. Weeks are a thing.
I just turned to the party. He still thinks it's a month ago. He doesn't think. He's already missed it.
I don't really believe you. I'm sorry, but you sound crazy.
Gormak's gonna point and say, I hope he's right. We could feast again.
Oh, I guess you're right. It was a good time.
Yeah.
But then we would have to do the entire trial again as well.
Well, maybe this time we don't give the eyes to the evil guy.
You have a good point.
How does Mercer react when I say that, by the way?
He's the same skepticism that has remained on his face the entire time. He's pretty sure that, like, you're a big Minotaur brute with a bunch of friends that have, like, surprised or ganged up on a seeker somewhere before and taken their badges, right? That this seems to be his general modus operandi. So when he says you gave the eyes to the evil guy, he just kind of, sure you did, boy, sure, yeah. He gives you that kind of nod.
Well, what do you all think?
I hold up the sack again, just in case.
He kind of recoils a little bit. He steps back.
I'm not like holding it at him. I'm like holding it up like it's an option.
Janlar nods, yeah. I think we should use the sack.
I mean, the people will need the goods. Especially if they've been waiting for a month now, right?
It's true. Especially if it's really been a month.
I'll look at Mercer and I'll be like,
Do you know where the Amber Peak is?
Oh, of course. You're from Sarmanath, aren't you? The mountain right behind Sarmanath. The Amber Peak is the tallest peak of
Right.
How long do we have until you're needed to be there?
It requested that you be at the full light of Hala, which would be a full moon. Judging from last night's moon cycle, it is waning down from a full moon to a new moon, so you have an entire lunar cycle.
All right. Well, then, I guess we can do this trip with him. Keep him safe. We get to see the countryside. Maybe fight some orcs. I know you're into that. And then on our way back, we just make sure he gets there faster and not gins around. And we can make it back for your druid thingy. And we can also get a new mission. And I can make us some money at all the taverns. So we're all good. I guess we can make this work.
Can your ring duplicator make a copy of a Seeker pin?
Well, wait a minute. How did you know about that? I didn't show you that.
You told us
Yesterday.
about it the first time we met you during the time loop.
I gently nudge Tom. I
Tom,
like Tom.
Tom is very preoccupied with religious teachings at the
So
moment. He's reading
I know
his
what
Bible.
Tom would say if he was
Yeah,
there, though.
and what would Tom say?
Tom would say, and I know that you're not a human.
He's gonna
but-
bring up the automaton thing.
But Mercer would remember that he told Tom that yesterday, because that was during the day that.
Was it
did
the same
reset.
day?
Yeah.
Or was it? No, that was before we left, and then we slept, and then we came back, right?
No, that was after the holy water exchange.
We
We
should.
Oh well,
only
then never
reset
mind.
time
Then I never
once.
brought that up. That's okay.
Yeah.
That doesn't matter
Yeah,
then.
we only reset time the once. So I think the only thing that Mercer told us that we wouldn't know about was the ring duplicator.
The duplicator. That's true.
So his eyes narrow, and you see him kind of reevaluating what he's learned.
Gormak points at the cart where he had that secret compartment where it was.
It's right there. You showed it to us.
And I look at Gormak and I'm like, is it a crime, Gormak, to have a copying drawer to scam people?
Well, Gormak goes, well, it's not a scam. That man needed that engagement ring that he'd lost. That was
Basically,
very useful to have a copy.
I looked at Emily and say, no, the scam isn't. It's not having the ring duplicator isn't the problem, but stealing it from a gnome.
all right, and with all of that, he kind of okay, that's weird, and I don't know how you know that. I'm skeptical about this time loop thing, but maybe you're not as crazy as I thought.
Gormak smiles. A big cow smile. Whatever a cow smile looks like.
I just
gonna have to
think,
look it
you
up.
know,
Cow smiling.
the Warcraft guys.
Yeah.
Says,
I'm
all right.
imagining those weird pictures that people Photoshop human mouths onto animals where it just looks like
Oh my
horrifically
God, that's
wrong.
So creepy.
Yeah.
Try smiling less. That's very disturbing. Okay. I'm not saying I necessarily believe you about the time loop, but maybe you're not so crazy. So if you are seekers, how does my deal sound? Perhaps we could go out into the grass sea together, do some good, make it back. You'll still get paid as seekers. The Mercers know I have quite valuable cargo.
Yeah, we just discussed this right in front of you. We're taking you to the grass sea and making sure it's a safe.
Well, I wasn't sure. The smiling abomination was holding the bag very wantingly at me. Couldn't tell if you were going to abduct me or not.
So
It's not
I'd rather
abduction.
you came with us willingly.
Excellent! Let me get my cart packed. In fact, if you could help me out, we could be on our way in no time. I cannot wait to leave Willard's Mill behind. This has been a trying test of my patience.
That is the creepiest link I've ever been sent.
Oh no! Oh no!
on
What
my
is this
time
link?
of the internet. Here, I'll even post it in the chat.
Dan, you still use Yahoo to search?
That was so judgmental. Oh my
I just
god!
noticed
There's so many
I just
cows.
noticed the link says images.yahoo, and I'm like, that's still a thing?
These
Good.
smiling cows
We
are
can't hear you,
terrifying.
Dan. We can't hear you.
Sorry, for some reason I use Zoom. It pops up Internet Explorer, which I never use.
Oh.
It's like on Yahoo. I always use Firefox because it's clearly better.
Alrighty, and with that, the party packs up their cart, helps the horse dog pack up his, and I guess you leave Willard's Mill? Or are you gonna stick around and try to kill some wraiths?
No, we're gonna go with him. And
Alright, and so you leave Willard's Mill still besought with noon wraiths. It's a whole different thing. And
Out
you
of
head...
game, I think the new race will destroy us.
And you head out in towards the grass sea with Horse Dog Mercer. And I think that is an excellent place to take our third break as we come upon 3 o'clock. Let's meet back in about 5 minutes to go forward.